The Life of Queen Elizabeth I by Yeghiazaryan. The Childhood of Queen Elizabeth I. Elizabeth had a rough childhood. In fact, her father denied her for most of her youth, and she was damned as a daughter of a whore. In short, she was just a royal bastard. And even though young Elizabeth was neglected by her father, and even had to be reminded by Elizabeth's governess that she needed new clothes when she had outgrown them, she was a bright young student. Elizabeth was also fairly close to her stepbrother Edward in her youth, who was close to her age and a well-educated Protestant, just like herself. On October 12, 1537, Prince Edward VI was crowned king, and he ruled with the help of a regency until July 6, 1553. After his death, Lady Jane Grey was proclaimed queen, but she only ruled for 9 days until Mary, Queen Elizabeth's stepsister, took what was rightfully hers and became Queen of England. But during Mary's rule, all was not well. Elizabeth was actually imprisoned in the Tower of London for treason during her reign. But finally, after 5 years of waiting, Elizabeth is crowned Queen of England.
To the north, I present unto you Elizabeth, your undoubted queen.
I crown thee, Elizabeth, Queen of England, Ireland, and France.
And all seemed to be well and dandy, but there was one problem. Who was Elizabeth going to marry? Surely she can't rule a country on her own. Well, it turns out she can. Elizabeth was given a country that had experienced great devastation and was in a time of turmoil. She had succeeded Mary, who was a devout Catholic that had no tolerance for other religions. She cruelly persecuted heretics and showed no mercy. This left England with a lot of tension between religious groups. Also, England was at war with France at the time, and this war was a huge financial drain on England. But, as always, Elizabeth rose to the occasion. In order to bring religious peace to England and settle the disputes over doctrine, Elizabeth passed the Act of Uniformity. The Act of Uniformity in 1558 regulated religion by requiring the use of the Book of Common Prayer to be used in the Protestant Church. Peace was finally found. And as for the war with France, Elizabeth was able to subdue it with the help of William Cecil, one of her most trusted advisors. By ending the war and bringing peace to the people, Elizabeth opened up the country to the development of art, theater, fashion, music, and literature. This is the beginning of what is known to be the Elizabethan era, or the Golden Age for England. Elizabethan fashion was very grandiose, magnificent, and over the top. The idea behind fashion during the Elizabethan era was to show the status of the person wearing it. There were even Elizabethan sumptuary laws, which were specific rules and guidelines about exactly what types of clothing and colors an individual of a certain status can wear. For example, only royalty were allowed to wear ermine-trimmed clothing. All lesser nobles were only allowed to use fox or otter fur. Furthermore, there were certain colors that were restricted to the middle and lower class citizens. For example, only royalty and their families were allowed to wear purple. Elaborate hairstyles and extravagant jewelry were also very popular. Elizabethan theater was one of the most popular forms of entertainment at the time and was favored by the Queen herself. Complete with masterful stages and lavish costumes, these productions were really a sight to see. Shakespeare was actually one of the playwrights and actors who wrote for and performed in Elizabethan theater. But wait, I think we need to rewind a bit. Elizabeth had to work hard to get England to such a good place. One huge obstacle for Elizabeth was her Catholic cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots. The story goes a little bit like this. Mary starts a Scottish rebellion and flees to England, where she is imprisoned because of the possibility that she could start a civil war. She swears her loyalty to Elizabeth, but with the help of Sir Francis Walsingham, is exploited for treason and executed. The next battle for Elizabeth is the defeat of the Spanish Armada, her most impressive accomplishment. Tensions had been high between Spain and England, what with all the rejected marriage proposals and Elizabeth's aid to the Protestant Dutch. On August of 1588, Spain finally had enough and decided to attack, not realizing that England will always remain unconquered, almost. Needless to say, Spain was humiliated and Elizabeth was praised, but then again, her speech before the attack would have been enough.
My loving people, we see the sails of the enemy approaching. We hear the Spanish guns over the water. Soon now, we will meet them, face to face. I am resolved in the midst and heat of the battle to live or die amongst you all! While we stand together, no invader shall pass. Let them come with the armies of hell. They will not pass. And when this day of battle is ended, we we meet again in heaven, or on the field of victory.
The end.